Do they not know when she was gone, it went back to the year before she was in the league?
Would you ever expect the king of no-filter hot takes, Gilbert Agent Zero Arenas, to wade into the WNBA's most explosive debate and end up defending the rookie everyone's been hacking? Well, buckle up, because his fiery monologue about Caitlin Clark didn't just pour gasoline on the conversation, it lit the whole league ablaze. Arenas says the silent part out loud, challenging veterans, league execs, and armchair critics alike. But why are his words sending shockwaves through basketball culture? Let's break down every jaw-dropping angle, because what he revealed might change the WNBA forever.
Think about the loudest, most unfiltered truth teller in men's basketball. The guy who once dropped 60 on Kobe, brought a locker room cannon of confidence everywhere he went, and never ducked a single controversy. Now picture that same Gilbert Agent Zero Arenas swiveling his mic away from NBA drama and pointing it straight at the WNBA's white-hot lightning rod, Caitlin Clark. Nobody asked him to jump in, nobody expected him to pick a side, and absolutely nobody guessed he'd torch half the league while planting a flag squarely in Clark's corner. Yet that's exactly what happened, and the aftershocks are rattling every arena from Seattle to South Beach. If you blinked, here's the lightning quick recap. Clark's rookie season is rewriting viewership records, selling out road games, and crushing jersey sales, all while drawing rough-and-tumble welcome to the league fouls that have fans screaming for better protection. Commentators argue, vets grumble. Social media teeters between admiration and outright envy. Then, out of nowhere, Arenas fires off a podcast rant so explosive that even his co-host could only sit there, wide-eyed, as he dismantled every double standard surrounding Clark's swagger. So why does Arenas, a man who once sparked near-mythic NBA storylines, care this much about a WNBA rookie? What did he say that sent veteran players scrambling to fire clapbacks on X while sponsors quietly high-fived in backrooms? And, more importantly, could his uncensored sermon force the league to choose between old-school toughness and a golden ticket to mainstream fame? Strap in. We're unpacking every incendiary syllable, every hidden motive, and every dollar sign dangling behind the debate, because Arenas' defense of Caitlin Clark might just flip the future of women's basketball on its head.
Caitlin Clark strode out of college hoops carrying more records than anyone could count, and an endorsement portfolio that would make established pros blush. 40-foot pull-ups, signature shoes before her rookie contract was even inked, and TV audiences that tripled overnight whenever she stepped on the court. To fans, she's the breath of fresh air women's hoops needed. To some veterans, though, those neon lights felt more like a spotlight they'd been chasing for a decade, only to see it swivel to a newcomer in a single season. Whispers of overhyped, media darling, and needs to earn it grew louder with every logo 3 she splashed, but the tension was about to turn physical.
Early June, sold-out arena, Fever versus Sky. Chennedy Carter, never shy about contact, delivers a shoulder that snaps Clark back like a rubber band. No ball, no apology, just a glare. The ref's whistle, a common foul. Twitter, instant supernova. Clips looped hundreds of millions of times. Hashtags ignited. Hashtag protect Caitlin. Hashtag welcome to the WNBA. Half the timeline called it flat-out bullying. The other half shrugged, saying, that's what rookies get. Clark's calm shrug in the postgame only fueled more debate. Was she unfazed or silently fuming? And while the league tiptoed around the incident, the microphones found someone who never tiptoes.
Sports talk shows turned the shove into a week-long referendum. Is the WNBA punishing Flash, or is Clark's star power sparking resentment from players tired of chasing crumbs? Rumors bubbled that certain locker rooms were fed up with seeing Nike trucks outside Fever arenas, while their own jerseys struggled to hit racks. Commentators argued whether roughing her up was old-school initiation or plain insecurity. Ratings soared, controversy sells. And into that cyclone stepped Gilbert Arenas, microphone in hand and grin already loaded. Because when Agent Zero speaks, volume knobs shatter.
Gilbert Arenas didn't just defend Caitlin Clark, he threw the playbook of polite commentary through the nearest window. Let's rewind that viral clip and slow roll the hits, because every sentence did damage in a different direction.
First punch. If a dude averaged 30, you'd call it swagger, so why is it cocky when she does it? In 10 words, Arenas sliced straight into the double standard that has trailed women's sports for decades. By framing Clark's confidence against the NBA's most beloved showboats, think Curry's shimmy or Dame's wave, he forced critics to admit they'd been cheering the same bravado on the men's side for years. Viewers didn't just nod, they screenshot the quote, slapped it on TikTok slideshows, and let the algorithm do the rest. Then he doubled down. The league's finally got eyeballs, and y'all want to rough her up? That's backward as DM. Translation, protect the product or watch the sponsors vanish. Coming from a man who once turned a middling Wizards team into must-see TV by sheer force of personality, that argument landed hard. Arenas knows ratings math. He lived it. So hearing him warn the WNBA felt like a coach calling timeout before a preventable turnover. But the real gut check came when he dragged the jealousy into the open. You're mad she got the bag? Be mad you didn't secure yours before she walked in. The subtext was brutal. Clark isn't stealing anyone's shine. She's exposing gaps that already existed. And by linking player pay to market draw, Arenas reframed the feud as economics, not ego. The implication? Rough tactics won't dim her star. They'll dim the league's growth. He wasn't finished. Arenas reminded vets that he too entered a league where older guards tried to punk him out of the paint, and he thrived by turning every cheap shot into a headline dunk. You foul a scorer, you fuel a scorer, he warned. Whether he meant adrenaline or publicity, the message was clear. Silence Clark, and you'll only make her louder. Finally, Arenas leveled a shot at league decision-makers. If the refs won't protect a cash cow, the accountants will. A sly nod to the invisible power of broadcast partners and brand executives, people who don't tweet, but absolutely pick up the phone when investment is threatened. That line sent shivers through front offices because no one wants a conference call that starts with, "Explain to us why our ad spend is funding hospital bills instead of highlight reels." Each quote landed on a different target: players, critics, officials, executives, creating a four-way echo chamber that still hasn't stopped vibrating. The beauty, or the danger, depending on your side, is that Arenas' rant can't be dismissed as hype. It's grounded in the cold math of ratings and revenue. Fans felt vindicated, sponsors felt heard, and players suddenly found themselves debating more than just hard fouls. They were debating the business model of the entire league. And while Twitter fingers blazed into the night, the first real repercussions, both supportive and searing, were already rolling in. On the latest episode of Gil's Arena, the former three-time NBA All-Star leaned into the camera and, without a trace of hesitation, unleashed, "Yo, y'all out here." Hours later, veteran forward T-Mac Thompson fired back on X, "Stay in your lane, Gil. Women's game ain't your playground." Yet rising star Kelsey Mitchell quietly liked the clip, and agent circles buzzed about how sponsors loved the heat. ESPN dedicated 2 full segments. YouTube reaction channels mined a gold rush of clicks. Ticket sales for Clark's next road game spiked 60% overnight. Even NBA players chimed in. Damian Lillard knee-posted the monologue with a fire emoji, while Draymond Green called it facts. The WNBA office, meanwhile, tightened officiating guidelines. No one wanted another viral cheap shot. But behind the tweets lurked deeper stakes. Clark's presence has already turned once sleepy Tuesday matchups into primetime must-sees. Networks smell fresh ad dollars. Ownership groups eye expansion. Sponsors write bigger checks. Arenas warned that letting jealousy dictate on-court behavior could derail that momentum. Fewer highlights, more hospital visits, and advertisers pulling out when star power limps off the court. League execs whispered about protective rules because protecting players is protecting revenue. Some insiders predict a new Clark clause in future collective bargaining talks, mandating stricter penalties for intentional hits. Whether that happens or not, the dollars whisper louder every day. But Arenas pushed the debate even further. On a follow-up live stream, Arenas emphasized he wasn't just defending Clark, he was challenging the sports world's reflex to police confident women. "Let her shimmy, let her talk," he said. "If that bothers you, maybe the game's passing you by." His framing turned Clark into a symbol, not only for rookie ambition, but for how women's sports negotiates charisma amid traditional expectations of humility. Fans debated whether this marked a tipping point where female athletes can finally flex without apology, or whether the backlash will only harden. Either way, the conversation has exploded far beyond one shove. So where does that leave us?
Gilbert Arenas' unfiltered defense of Caitlin Clark didn't just add another hot take to the pile, it cracked the debate wide open. His blunt challenge to the WNBA, protect your stars, embrace swagger, and quit punishing success, echoes in every highlight clip and press conference today. Will the league heed the warning and ride Clark's momentum into a richer, wider future? Or will pride and resentment keep boiling until the next elbow draws blood? One thing's certain, Arenas lit a match that won't stop burning anytime soon. And with ratings, reputations, and millions of dollars hanging in the balance, the next chapter in this saga is bound to be even wilder. Stay tuned, because the story isn't just about one rookie anymore. It's about who gets to own the spotlight in the new era of women's basketball.